Stand for the pledge. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. It's nice to see a full house here. Apologies for being a few minutes late. Motion to reconvene to a public meeting at 7:50.
Second.
Thank you, Dave and Diana. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Were there any more chairs? I mean, do we need to look for any more seats for you guys? Because I don't want you to have to stay any longer than, does anyone sit here?
Yeah, if anyone feels like they need to,
Can everybody in the back
fill
hear
the
us?
seats.
Okay.
So, yeah.
We'll speak loud.
All right, we could start with board announcements. Anyone have any board announcements?
Yeah.
Is that it? Big word announcement?
Nope, I have nothing. I'm good.
I'll just say I was not able to attend the, what did Miss Nunlau call it?
Oh, career day, yeah.
Career day at William O'Shafer, and I was very sad at that, but I just want to take a moment to thank her for just being an amazing example of what this district is. She goes above and beyond. She really shows that there's always more you can do, and every time I see her just doing something that she doesn't need to be asked. She just does things that are amazing for these students, and I appreciate that so much. So I just wanted to make sure I took a moment to say that.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, we can move on to superintendent's announcement.
All right, so welcome everyone. Great to see so many people out here tonight, especially I know how nice it is outside and it gets dark later. We really appreciate you all being here. So tonight, we are going to recognize our student volunteers who've committed their time to our local fire departments and ambulance corps. And this is the first time we're doing this. The idea for recognizing all of you tonight stems from a conversation that I had back in the fall with trustee Ms. Corabell about, she had asked, how many kids do we have volunteering? At the same time, we were having the high school volunteer fair, which was started a couple years ago, where we really have our local community-based organizations come up to the high school, introduce our students, and hope to get more volunteers. Well, we learned that we had almost 30 Tappan Zee High School volunteers across our fire departments and ambulance corps, and we thought it would be a really nice thing to do to recognize your service. So I just have a few words that I'd like to share. So we were, like I said, pleasantly surprised to have close to 30 Tappan Zee High School volunteers, and we just want to recognize and celebrate this wonderful achievement, and thank you for going above and beyond to give time to provide such an essential service and resource for our entire community. As everyone knows, our students have challenging schedules. They participate in many extracurricular activities outside of school and still manage to make time to volunteer. And it's because they care and they understand the importance of serving in our community. I also want to share that 6 or actually 8 of our students, I'm not sure if it's 6 or 8, couldn't be here tonight because they were enrolled in the Emergency Medical Training course, EMT course. We also have some EMT graduates who are here tonight. And so we asked those students I'll recognize them tonight, but we invited them to come to our next board meeting on May 13th because they're in class right now. So at this time, I'm going to read the names of our student volunteers with Mr. Finn. We'll ask you to come up to the dais and receive certificates from the Board of Education and from the district. Also joining us tonight, we have Wayne Romisher, who's the chief of the Orangetown Ambulance Corps, and Kenny Gordon, the chief of the Orangetown Fire Department, who have been great mentors and an inspiration to our younger students to continue to volunteer even beyond their high school years. So without further ado, let's bring up our student volunteers. And I'll call you one by one. If you could just come up, and then we'll give you a round of applause, and you can stand up here, and then we'll get a picture, right? Okay. So we're going to start in appreciation of your efforts to elevate, engage, and inspire the community through your firefighter volunteer contributions and in supporting our tradition of citizen involvement. Awarded on April 29th, 2025 from the Board of Education and District, Aiden McKiernan. Aiden, come on up. Michael Rubenstein. You're here. Michael Engelman. Michael. Julia Spano. Some of them might be in class. Sean Fagan. Sean here. Alec Kalishian. Alec here. Okay, they could be watching from home. Addison Temple. Is Addison here? Brian Lynch. Congratulations. John Pineda. All right, now moving on to our ambulance corps volunteers. So, in appreciation of your efforts to elevate, engage, and inspire our community through your ambulance, youth corps volunteer contributions, and supporting our tradition of citizen involvement. Emily Acosta. Congratulations, thank you. Jacqueline Acosta. Congratulations. Thank you. Andrew Cantatori. Congratulations. Thank you for your service. Tara Carolyn. Kate Collins. Avi Kandori. Emily DeBonis. Congratulations. Maya Epen. Sean Fagan. Alex Frawley. Rian Hardigan. Rianne. Okay. Lily Hassenfuss. Lily here. Emma McHugh. Lauren McKiernan. Congratulations. Grace Marano. Sorry. Grace. Kate Bovill. Brendan O'Prey. Congratulations. Avery Romisher. Congratulations. Kate Sardo. Joey Wan. Oh, Mia. I got both. Mia, thank you. Mia Petronic. Hold on. I have your find it in a minute. And last but not least, and they may not be here. I have to find the name. Megan Remek. Is Megan here? And those are some of our EMTs. I have your certificate. I'll find it in a minute. So if you guys want to, let me find her certificate because we don't want a picture without you with one. But if you guys want to talk to Mr. Trollo and try to figure out the picture while I'm finding these.
If I could just say something,
Oh, absolutely. Please.
as a volunteer, life member of a local ambulance corps, I couldn't do fire, I'm sorry, no offense, guys, but you guys do the best work. We need volunteers, so thank you so much for everything that you do, and keep on with it, because one day you'll be a life member, and it's totally worth it in the end.
Awesome. So before we take the photo, I do want to acknowledge and recognize the EMT students who aren't here tonight. They are in class, and that is Avery Carter, Nina Gill, Ria Jose, Kira Lococo, Matei Schoening, Julia Spano, and Megan Grimek, and they are invited to come to the next board meeting on May 13th, so we'll have an opportunity to celebrate their achievements.
I just wanted to reiterate what Ms. Corbell said. You guys are first responders. I mean, you guys have taken an oath, a pledge, at a very young age when most kids aren't thinking about civic service, volunteering. What you're doing is extraordinary. I mean, I can't get over how many of you are up there right now. I was actually very surprised when I heard the number. Don't take it lightly. It's an immense amount of responsibility, but your community appreciates what you do. There's a lot of long hours, a lot of long nights. Sometimes you have to walk this path alone, but it's extremely rewarding, and I can't acknowledge how beneficial you are to your community, to your country, et cetera. You guys are doing a great thing. I hope you stay with it, and being a first responder is a lot of responsibility that I'm sure you guys do great with, so thank you once again.
Congratulations, everyone.
Sorry. All right, so before I go on with my superintendent's report, I'll give you guys an opportunity just to say your goodbyes. You don't have to stay. You're more than welcome to stay for our exciting board meeting. But otherwise, I know you have a lot of other things you'd rather be doing. So thank you, guys. Congratulations.
Third page there, correct? A lot of people all together, that's why we had her.
Watch me wing it. So I'm just going to continue on with my superintendent's report as they are filing out. So as you know, we have a lot of students who attend Rockland BOCES C-Tech program. We have close to 70 students who are in attendance in that program. And we had 6 Tappan Zee High School students who attend the Rockland BOCES career and technical programs compete at the New York State Skills USA Leadership and Skills Competition last weekend. And Tappan Zee High School's Alex Frawley and her teammates from other districts won first place for crime scene investigation and are eligible to compete in the national competition in June. So congratulations to those 6 students and to the team for their tremendous accomplishment. Also, our SOBOTS 6911 team, although they did not make it to the divisional playoffs, they did perform very well at the Worlds competition in Houston, and they learned a great deal during the spring, over the spring recess. So SOBOTS will be visiting with us at the next board meeting on May 13th, so I don't want to steal too much of their thunder, but they were greatly appreciative of the district and the Board of Education support, and they had a phenomenal time at the Worlds competition in Houston. That's the 4th time our team has attended Worlds in, I think, 9 years, which is an incredible accomplishment. So congratulations to SOBOTS. And lastly, I just realized the 3rd page of my report didn't print. That's always fun. But I do want to acknowledge that I went to the Hall of Fame, Rockland County Hall of Fame sports celebration this weekend, and they honored one of our very own former Tappan Zee High School graduates. Stephanie Mills Cleary was honored at the Rockland County Hall of Fame, and they also acknowledged our fall cross-country track team for winning the state championship. So it was a really cool event. There were over 200 people there. And we had former retired PE teachers and coaches who came. So Mr. Lynch was there, Mr. Drevis was there, and Mr. Park, who I had never met, actually flew in from Florida. So it just shows you what kind of community we have, that they all came out to support Stephanie, and she is a current parent of ours. So congratulations to Stephanie for being inducted into the Hall of Fame. She graduated in 2001 and scored, I believe the number, and Mr. Pilla, correct me if I'm wrong, 2,155 points, which is a Tappan Zee record, and no one's ever come close to breaking that or the record that she sent at Ithaca. So congratulations to her. All right, so we have PTA president's reports coming up. I just have to find my sheet. Hang on one sec. And I believe that Jorly Pena is here from South Orangetown Middle School and is going to make a report on behalf of Andrea Cochia. Is that correct, Jory? Come on up. Hi. Just come up to the podium. You'll give her the mic. Yeah. Welcome. Yep.
Hi, everybody. Sorry. Okay, so we have an exciting event. It's going to be here in this library on Monday night during our board meeting next Monday on online safety. So that's going to be 7 p.m. here. We will have this Senior Assistant District Attorney, Jerry Damani. We'll have a bunch of TZHS students talking about their experience with how they keep themselves safe, talking to the middle schoolers and middle school parents. And we'll have the SOCSD Technology Director, George Brady. So it's going to be a really dynamic event. Huge thanks to Amanda Levin, who has organized this. This was made possible by a grant from the National PTA and Google. So looking forward to that. Next week is our Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week at SOMS. So we're going to be having, I think me and some other volunteers will be here at lunch tomorrow getting students to write notes to hang in the lounge next week. We have a bunch of treats and snacks on the way coming all week. And then we've got a lot planned for the rest of the year, but the highlights are 8th grade dance on June 6th. Sign up and get those tickets. And the 8th grade moving up breakfast. So I think I covered most things.
Thank you. Thanks for coming up. Appreciate it. Next, we have Laura Schwab from SOCSD. Welcome, Laura.
So we have a couple of fun things coming up. We're working with a company called Booster to pilot a fun run fundraiser at Cottage Lane. Basically, the students can set up their website. They have a link that they can share out, and they earn prizes at various levels. We're going to use the funds for an upcoming Family Fun Day, our general PTA fund activities, and also to start funding the 2026 5th grade field trip. We're trying to explore some ways that we can alleviate the cost of the 5th grade field trip for the families. So we can do reporting on this fundraiser to see how much money each grade raises. So we're going to take a portion of what the 4th grade raises and earmark it for next year to try to lower that cost. And we have some other ideas for fundraising for next year. So the hope is that by the time the kids get into 5th grade, that we can potentially have the field trips be free for them or very low cost. So the actual in-school part of the program is going to start on Friday. There's a kickoff video introducing the theme, which is Castle Quest. And every day from the 5th to the 9th, the kids are going to watch short videos. They follow this main character as he learns the 6 virtues of a true hero. And then the fun run will be in school, students only, no families, on May 13th. And the cool thing is, no matter whether or not you start a website or fundraise any money, every student gets to participate in the fun run itself. We're also working to finalize some additional incentives for like the top earning classes in each grade, so there'll be more on that to come. And as an added bonus, if we reach our fundraising goal, Coach Jacobs, Dr. Page, and Dr. Poulat have graciously agreed to take a pie in the face. So the kids are very excited about that. And I just want to mention that the idea of this fun run actually came from the SAC reps. They pitched the idea to Dr. Page, and we actually had 2 student reps at the initial meeting with the booster people. They had notes, they asked questions. It was really actually very impressive. And after the meeting, when the kids left, the booster people said, in all the years they've been doing this program, they never had students involved. So they were very impressed with the students as well. So we're excited for that. More, I guess, at the next meeting. So I mentioned a Family Fun Day. We're partnering with AJ Walker at the Family Engagement Center to host a Family Fun Day. Excuse me. It's tentatively scheduled for June 7th from 11 to 2. We're going to have music, face painting, some athletic stations, food trucks. We're still finalizing some other activities. It'll be free for attendees unless you want to buy food. We knew this year we're going to host an incoming kindergarten family meetup on June 9th from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Schaefer Pirate Playground. We're going to have representatives from Cub Scouts and Girl Scouts. We're going to send information home with the families next week when they're doing their kindergarten screening. So just a way for parents to meet each other, the kids to meet each other before they start school, maybe have play dates over the summer. So when they come in September, maybe they'll know some friendly faces. What else? We have the school supply sale that started. Flyers have been backed home. If you're placing an order, make sure you put the class that your student will be in next year. And they will be at the school when the kids start in September. So we're also going to give that information next week to the incoming kindergartners. And then last but not least, we are also doing teacher and staff appreciation next week. And starting tomorrow, we're going to have some sign-up sheets on our website for volunteers and donations.
Thank you.
Yep.
Very glad to hear that the kindergarten kids are getting together in June. That's awesome. Very cool. Tappan Zee High School, is Michelle here or Samantha? Oh, Diliberto? Okay, so they'll report at the next meeting. Okay, thank you guys. All right, and so I think we're going to move on to, that concludes my superintendent's report, and we'll move to public commentary, and then we'll do the presentation from the construction.
Okay.
All right.
Do we want to go get Caesar?
Okay.
Yeah. I imagine there's public commentary. Okay, assuming there is public commentary, public protocol. There isn't? All right, well, I appreciate that. Thank you for coming. Public commentary is over.
That was the fastest public commentary we've ever had.
All right.
So continuing on, we have from Clark Patterson Lee and Palumbo Group, we have Mike Vogel and Lisa, and Mr. Kern is here, along with Mr. Rallo, to give us a construction update.
Good evening. Feel like the weatherman. Green paper tonight means things are on track. Yellow means caution, and red means look out. That was the weather forecast back home. They were talking severe thunderstorms, hail, and glad I'm here. The other thing I have to admit is I can't see. So when I printed out today, everything came out on the big paper, so I don't have to put glasses on tonight.
Nice.
Tonight with us is Lisa Falcioni from Clark Patterson Lee and Michael DeVogel. We'll be talking about Phase 1, phase 2 of the project. Not to steal Lisa's thunder, but we have an update on phase 3, which is the middle school, and a couple other projects going on, and what we did over our spring break. So without further ado, Mike.
Good evening, thanks. So I put together a presentation to highlight some of the things that we're looking forward to for 2025. And also we'll highlight the work that we did get done over spring break. Very happy with the work over spring break, how it went, and always happy to report on work we got done rather than the stuff we're looking forward to. We'll, like I said, go through phase 1 and 2, the summer pack-out plan. We'll include the scheduling. We'll touch on, like I said, the spring break work that we did. Then we'll go into the scheduling, project summaries, and the Q&A then at the end. For William O. Schaefer for 2025, we're going to start off with limited ACM removal. That'll then take us right into the 15-room renovation that we're doing in E and F areas. Basically, it's a very similar scope for both schools. Moving into HVAC system upgrades, new data lines. Both gyms are complete with their HVAC upgrades. New electrical service upgrade for Cottage Lane, and the renovation of the former entrance lobby at Cottage Lane as well. As you know, we moved the main lobby last summer. The start date is June 27th this year, and the substantial completion is August 23rd. For phase 2 at the Tappan Zee High School, again, we're starting with asbestos abatement. We're moving into the renovation of 23 rooms in the 400 wing. New data lines, new HVAC, boiler replacement, upgraded classroom electrical, and backup heating replacement. For phase 2, our start date is also the 27th, and we're completing one day earlier with a substantial completion of the 22nd. Our pack out and timeline to bring everyone back up to speed. This is always a work in progress that kind of develops through our facilities meetings. But the 3 things I want you to pay attention to: July 5th is the onset of the district-wide asbestos abatement. So there's no access to schools during that period, July 5th to July 19th. Then the greens are staff returning to unaffected areas. Keep in mind, we'll still be working in the schools, but we have a plan to section the construction from the balance of the school. And in most cases, you're 60 to 80% open, except for the construction. And then the final green is when the staff returns to the classrooms to set up. There's one thing, and Jack Rallo put this slide together. One thing that I'm a little bit put off by on this is July through August, just one word: construction. It just seems to undersell us a little bit. But Jack can talk a little more detail about the pack plan. Jack, if you want to come on up and talk.
So basically what we planned, we met with all of the principals sometime around February and put a plan together for this. Obviously, we have, I think, 4,500 boxes, which you think seems like a lot, but it's not. When you start to see all of the stuff that came out of Schaefer last year, and we packed, I believe, 2.5 trailers full, it's not a lot of boxes. So we got boxes, we got tape. We've actually packed out for spring break, two of the rooms at the high school. We also did some stuff at Schaefer and Cottage Lane, just a couple of packing things that the teachers have been doing and getting stuff out. Around mid-May, we are planning on getting some trailers. I know we have a trailer at Schaefer as well already with some stuff in it. What our plan is, around mid-May, we're going to get trailers into the buildings and start to pull that stuff out. This is especially important at the high school. They have exams going on in mid-May. We want to be very wary about what we take out of the high school, and, you know, they have AP exams, they have finals coming. That's really, really important. Again, Mike and the guys did a great job over spring break. I can't tell you the amount of work that we got done was just incredible. George and I have talked. We have a plan, and we're going to, work on that as well with a third-party contractor, pulling out smart boards, and then George's guys and my guys will start to pull out phones, wireless access points, computers, all of the wonderful things that we have in the buildings. And that'll happen right around the end of June. Probably somewhere around, I think, June 18th, we were looking to do the smart boards a little earlier.
Yeah, I saw that email, yeah.
So, which is, that's fine.
Yeah,
We
if you
just,
can.
we gotta make
Sure.
sure we can. That being said, right around the 26th, that's the half day of school, we're gonna have movers in, and everything is going out into the trailers. Get them done, and then, we actually pushed off from, Mike, and I hope you don't mind, I'm gonna just mention, we pushed off to July 5th. What this allows is the camps that happen at Tappan Zee High School to be in session before. They'll do 2 camps from June, I think it's June 28th or 20, something like that, to June 30th to July 3rd, that's what it is. And then the second group of camps will happen after the abatement is done. The abatement should finish. They'll be back in the school on the 18th of July, and then the second group of camps will happen, morning and afternoon. So, again, substantial completion, construction, and I use that word sparingly. It's a lot of construction. But, you can't stress it all out in here because there'd probably be about 12 pages. So construction happens August 22nd. We have substantial completion. We have moved this up, this timeline, for, basically we learned our lesson from last year. We don't want to have the same thing that we had last year where we had no time to get it done. So we moved this up. We have the 22nd for Tappan Zee High School. We have the 23rd for Schaefer and Cottage Lane, Phase 1. And we will have apple cleaners in there, or we will have a set of cleaners in there.
Yeah.
And movers, and everything will be back in place.
I just wanted to go over that essentially day by day, since we have such a large teacher population here tonight.
Yes.
I want to make sure we're all on the same page. So the hard stop of the construction is the 23rd.
For Schaefer and Cottage Lane.
Okay, and
Yes.
what's the high school?
The high school is the 22nd.
22nd, okay. So
Those are substantial completion. Basically, what that means is all contractors will be out by end of day on those days.
Right. All right, so they're back in August 27th, correct?
Yes.
So that gives them the 27th, 28th, 29th?
Yeah, basically, it's 23rd through the 26th, and then the 27th, staff is back in for superintendent's conference day.
So the classes are being cleaned 24th, 25th, 26th?
Correct. And probably
And
the
throughout
afternoon
the
of
summer. So one of the things
22nd,
we're doing
23rd.
differently this summer is we have cleaners that are going to be in the
No, I get
buildings
that, but I just
throughout.
want to make
Yeah.
sure that the teachers have enough time.
Absolutely.
I also have a question. Are we going to be able to go through, like we did our walkthrough after the cleaners are there, to make sure that there's nothing that's
Yeah, we'll
missed?
schedule a walkthrough
'Cause I would like to
before
do
we
one or two
open.
walkthroughs
Before we open for the
Correct.
kids,
come
we
in to
always
make
do.
sure nothing's
Yeah.
missed for them to have to clean up. from now on.
Absolutely. Yep.
I think we appreciate and understand that the proactivity cleaning throughout the summer was a great response to last year. I think that there were a lot of
Absolutely.
concerns. We listened to them, we're moving past that, trying to make a better attempt this summer, so nobody's put out. But I just want to make sure you have all the dates in line, so there's no confusion or misconception. So it's essentially 23rd is the last day. We'll just say that's the worst case scenario, 23rd for all the schools, so 22nd's a little bit earlier. And then you have the 24th, 25th, 26th are cleaning.
Correct.
And the teachers can come back in on the 27th, or do they come in during the cleaning?
They will be back in on the 27th.
Okay.
Yes.
So then the 26th looks like will be our walkthrough.
Can we do a walkthrough before that to see what the stage, like how it is?
What day?
Last time we did a walkthrough, there were things that were missed. I just
So
want
do
to
you
make sure we
want-
do one or two to make sure that the teachers aren't walking into a disaster zone again and that
So do you want to
everything's
do
clean
one
and up
on
to
the
standards.
I would
20
say there's a lot that's gonna happen in those few days, but I would say the 26th we could probably do the afternoon or evening of the 26th. That would be the best time to do
It'd
it.
probably be ideal.
Yeah.
Any deficiencies, we have some type of contingency plan?
Yeah, there won't be any deficiencies that are major, where we have, dirt and all that other stuff going on. If there's a couple of things, we also now have the 27th, 28th. We'll have all my guys in there. We'll have, Mike's contractors as well, to fix up anything that they may have missed. And then we return to school on the 3rd, which gives us the entire weekend.
So the
quite a
teachers
few
would be
days.
back the 27th, 28th, 29th, off Saturday, Sunday,
Correct.
and the Monday, and then they'd be back the 2nd. That would be their day also, so they have 4 days.
I think it's the 3rd. They're back.
Wait, so you're going straight to the 3rd from the 29th? To the 2nd.
So why does it say the
All right, so really the last day in August, the 29th, that's the last day before the long weekend.
Correct.
So the teachers
Yeah.
have 27th, 28th, 29th, you'd have 3 days to prepare.
Correct.
Is that going to be enough? What's that?
That's not, I'm sorry, what,
All right, so if we do our due diligence to make sure we're clean, and we clean up after ourselves, we stay on top of stuff throughout the summer, nothing goes wrong, God forbid, 3 days for each teacher to unpack the boxes.
she's saying it's not enough time. She's saying it's not enough time.
So it's
even
not
if-
enough
Even
time.
if it's completely.
So the
completely
27th,
perfectly
28th, and
walked out.
29th, that's,
So we have 2 superintendent's conference days. Yeah.
all right,
And that's
so
saying even
we
if
may
it's
need to
perfectly
fine
clean.
tune this so we don't have a problem in the summer that we can't fix.
Okay.
We're gonna have to be a little bit flexible. I know construction is very
Yeah, it
hard
was
to
really-
move,
we need
but
at
we're gonna
least
have
that.
to try and figure out some type of concession. Not everybody's gonna win, but I don't want anybody put out with a dirty room.
When we say superintendent's conference days, does that mean that they will be during trainings as well? So the teachers might have to be somewhere else half the day and then you have to
So
go
they're not
and
getting
pack-
that full
So
time.
they're not gonna have the full two days, correct?
So then we
Yeah, and it
can't count-
depends
we
on
can't
the
count that
school.
as 3 days if they're not getting the full 3 days
Well,
to
then
do
I think
it.
we need to look at the schedule then, at this point.
That's what we're gonna discuss. I mean, we're not in the summer yet, but we do have time to fix it. We just don't wanna be in the summer trying to backtrack.
Right, exactly, so.
Are we looking at fixing it as soon as possible so that we don't run into any
Right.
issues even close to
So
next
we've
year?
set the timeline at the facilities committee. We're confident that that timeline's going to work because we're getting the classrooms back over a week earlier. Typically, we always have 2 superintendent's conference days, depending on the school and how much construction and who in that building is affected will depend on what the schedules look like in each of the buildings. But teachers who have classrooms who've been renovated will obviously have a lot of time. We'll be giving them time over
But-
those days
But
to
if those teachers
set
are
up.
currently taking their training over the summer, their reading training or the new phonics training, I mean, like, they
No,
don't
that
have
won't,
They
that
don't
will
have
not
that ability to do
interfere,
that.
that would not interfere with the superintendent's conference days. Is that correct, Mr. Arietta?
No, we're getting all the training done before.
Yeah, so that would not, that will not impact it.
Can we ask what a realistic time, if you're saying 3 days isn't enough for the boxes, what would enough time be if you guys had other things during those days?
Well, I don't think we should put them on the spot.
No, I'm just, I know it'd be nice to have an idea, so when we do alter the calendar, that we have a realistic expectation as to what they would need.
First of all, the first day of school is the second, not the third.
Yes.
So it would be 2 days, the staff are in for 2 days. Typically on those days, there are meetings at least for 1 full day. And then, so you don't, if you're going to meetings, you can't really do anything in the classroom. So, and it takes, I mean, as, these guys can tell you, it's a lot of boxes for one classroom. I mean, we're talking a lot of boxes. People will not be unpacking in 2 days, they will be unpacking over weeks. Because that's the way it is. And then some people have a lot of anxiety because they want their classroom to be fully ready, and that's not possible.
But it's a very personal space, I get that, you wanna make sure it's 100% right. I think the issue here, Brian, is that I don't feel like there's a consensus among the crowd that they're happy with the time period we've allotted them, so I think we need to revisit this.
Okay, we can certainly do that. And we have ESO representatives at our facilities meetings, so we could certainly get input. And if we have to adjust the timeline, we'll do that. We also have other things in place, like we did last summer, to help teachers outside of those 2 days. And we've done that, and that's been consistent. We'll continue with that practice. So they'll have additional hours for the unpacking.
I understand this throws a wrench in the, whatever, the plans, but we'll figure this out at facilities.
Yeah.
We have representatives from both
Right.
sides, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, we've been working toward, we've been working toward getting as much done early as we possibly
Yeah.
can. Again, Mike and I sit, daily, basically, and we talk about how we're bringing stuff back, on the timeline
Yeah.
as well. So if we can finish early, believe me, there's nobody that wants to finish early more than, Mike and I. So we'll sit and we'll adjust it and see what we can do.
Thank you, guys. I just want to say before you conclude, we really appreciate you being here. You've been here since the beginning of the project, Lisa as well. We are in a much better position than we were a year ago going into this summer. Appreciate the timeline, the packing plan that you were able to go out and talk with the staff about. I'm confident that we're going to be able to open school and hit the ground running in September, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like me to finish?
Go ahead.
Still open.
Absolutely. I didn't mean to cut you off.
And just another thing to keep in mind is, not only have we been doing a lot of work at off hours, nights, weekends, we also are taking such a smaller footprint of the buildings. So all of the other cleaning throughout the buildings will be done throughout the summer on a normal schedule. And really, it's just our work areas that we'll have to focus on when September comes. So it is, if that builds some confidence, it should, because it's really something that we worked hard to get, and we're there. So, okay, spring break work. I did want to finish up, Brian, because I do want to toot our horn a little bit here. We feel very proud of how we put all of this work together. We worked real hard with the primes, with Jack's support, everyone's support, and we were able to pull it off despite last-minute pitfalls. We were able to come through it pretty well. Starting off with the high school, we had some of you know, some may not, but we had an issue with the outdoor classroom at the high school where we didn't accept the finish. There was a couple other circumstances which made us decide and recommend that we pull the slab up. The drainage was not correct. The finish we weren't happy with. Some of the brake tests to test the concrete were a little bit off. Not enough on their own to warrant the work that we did, but when you combine them all, we thought it was smart to make sure that the district gets what they're paying for and that it's a beautiful, well-designed result. So you can see that we had them pick up the old slab, realign the drainage, and this is kind of how it came out. It looks beautiful. We did an architectural ring around the four corners to give it the enhanced drainage that it needs. And I can tell you, I was here this past Saturday when it was pouring, and I have videos of this situation working really well. It came out beautiful, and if you get a chance, stop by. I think you'll be happy that we took that step. In addition, we added the landscape that was in the contract. And unfortunately, this time of year, when you add that landscape, that little planting island, all you really see are sticks sticking out of the ground. So I did want to add a slide just to show you what the shrubbery will look like when it's matured and what it will look like in the fall. So we sometimes have to have that vision when we do this work. And moving to William O. Schaefer, the work we did there was most importantly the HVAC duct work in the coaches areas. It was important that we get out of the gym in the off season, so that allowed us to give more of the school back to you folks while we're doing the summer work. So this is a measure that we took to make sure that less of the school is being dominated by the work, and it worked out really well. You can see the result here. Came out beautiful, and we're right on schedule with it. In fact, in just a week, this was 2 days ahead of schedule. Additionally, there was a stairwell that was left undone last year. We didn't want to take this on because we had a big enough bite, but we did want to get it done in the off season again so that we don't have to go to another remote area of the school to work. This helps us compress our work area and manage it much better. This is stairwell A renovation, which is just basically new LED lights and a new ceiling. At Cottage Lane, we did some striping and sealing at the main entrance. I think that looks a lot better. It came out beautiful. Really helps guide the crosswalk there, and it pops when you look at it. Really accents the canopy. In addition to that, we did the new service, which will be switched over this summer. Really worked like clockwork. Fortunately, the weather was with us, and this came out beautiful. All the inspections passed. Everything worked out great. There's all the new conduit underlined, and then it's locked in place with concrete. And this is the result. That pad is where the O&R is going to drop their transformer. We're just basically waiting for them. We can move whenever they're ready. We're hoping to have it installed before summer. Hopefully we'll get that call. But basically we're waiting for them at this point. And we also had 6 locations where we needed to put in steel to finish up the support for the rooftop units. That went off without a hitch, also ahead of schedule. Came out beautiful. All the testing is done, and it's all passed. So we're 100% ready. The gymnasium HVAC, you know, we've had all this ductwork laying down, and we had this great idea to make a habit trail for the kids. But we couldn't get the wheel in time, so we had to put it in the ceiling. Looks beautiful. Really like the red. I think it was a good choice. It really pops. And you can see the piping before and after insulation. Looks beautiful. Then Tappan Zee High School for Phase 2, we also did some work. I covered some of Phase 1 mop-up, but to get ahead of schedule on Phase 2, we did an asbestos abatement of room 415 and 421. As you can tell, what the reason we did that is the 2 yellows are the rooms that we took care of. You'll see that opens up that full corridor. So when the close of school comes, we'll have that half corridor to kind of chase the abatement. So we have no delay because of the asbestos removal. The asbestos guys will start on the right-hand side on the hatched area, and the GCs and all the demo and everything will take place right behind them. And with the vision we have, it'll just pass right through. The asbestos will be done, and these guys will just continue right through it. So we took care of that over the spring break, and there is now temporary floors in those 2 rooms. It meets the code. They're fireproof. They're not the level of flooring that you're going to get at the end of the summer, but it's a good stopgap just so everything looks good. We were able to take care of the asbestos again. That was really the important pivot. And this just shows you some of the feeder lines that we're doing. We dropped 5 new panels. These are for power to the new HVAC system, as well as enhanced power to all the classrooms. And it's a lot of work, you can imagine. And I just want to note, just before anyone gets nervous, that none of this stuff will be hot until we do the switch over in the summer. So there's not any kind of danger with the wires hanging like this. But you can see that this is just a lot of work, and a lot of work got done. This is darn near completed at this point, all these feeders and all the drops and where they all land in the different rooms. Next, we move on to the boiler demolition. That went off 3 days ahead of schedule. The guys came in, they knew what they were doing. Shows on the left-hand side the print of what we were supposed to achieve. This shows a partial demo. And then you can see the progression, and the bottom shows the completed demolition. Everything is off-site. We're ready to demo that pad. That's the GC's contract. And then he'll put in a new housekeeping pad in its place to meet the requirements of the new work. And with that, I'm turning over to Lisa.
Thanks, Mike.
Sure.
All right, quick future project update. Phase 2A, the high school auditorium renovation, is out to bid right now. We have a bid opening scheduled for June 3rd. Hopefully contract award in June. And then anticipated construction will start next June of 26 through December of 26. And then phase 3 of the bond. So scope of work includes classroom renovations and HVAC upgrades at SOMS, most of the 3rd floor and the language hallway of the 2nd floor. We have a boys' restroom renovation on the 2nd floor in the language hallway, athletic field reconstruction, and a new walking path. And then I put the high school admin suite and SOMS bathroom renovation here. We are looking to bid all 3 of these projects as one set. So sort of like how the boiler room work absorbed into phase 2, looking to bid all 3 of these in the fall. So moving forward, we're going to kind of refer to all of this as phase 3, knowing that it comes from different funding sources.
Sure.
So we received SED approval last week on phase 3, so now we have approval on all 3 of those projects. Anticipating a fall bid, probably October timeframe, similar to what we did for phase 1 and 2. We had a great bidders turnout for those and award contracts right before the holidays. And then right now anticipating a 2-year construction for all of phase 3, 26 and 27, but I'm sure that's something we'll talk in facilities about a bit more. Budget summary for phase 1. This looks very similar to what we showed you in January. Only change is Nickerson, a change order increase for casework. There were some additional requests at Schaefer for modifications and some extra storage in the 2025 classrooms. So that 11,000 increase there reflects that change. Overall, all the prime contracts are still very healthy. We have lots of allowances left moving into the 2nd year, except for the asbestos one. You can see a change order there. And finally, phase 2 budget updates. No change orders right now. These are just the contract values that were awarded, and all of these contracts, all the prime contracts have healthy allowances. So we are financially in pretty good shape moving into this summer.
How about your questions?
I don't really have a question, but I do want to just say that during the summer, during those 2 months of big construction,
It's a big word.
if things are happening, the board just wants to know. Construction is something that we know when you open Pandora's box, things can change. And I just want to make sure that that this summer goes well. And if there's any way that the board can support the process, that we don't wait until the last minute.
Thank you. And if there's any type of inspection you'd like to do, any kind of tour, if you're ever feeling like, hey, I wonder how it's going, we're happy to walk you through.
Yeah,
that,
I think
sure.
it might make sense for us to schedule something in the middle of the summer if we
Sure,
can, and
sure.
then do it, August 26th or
Yep.
something like that.
Good.
That way we can just know where we are and,
Yep, you'll need your hard hats, but
Yeah.
other than that, you're
okay, great.
you're good to
We'll
go.
work on a date and we'll try to get everyone together.
Sure.
Awesome. I'd love to be there for that as
Yeah.
well. So.
I think that would be helpful.
Yep.
Awesome.
And maybe we can invite some teachers or union representation to come on that walkthrough as well, just so we're all informed, as well as administrators. Obviously, you guys will be very much involved with those projects, so, but we'll definitely do that. All right, and then for everyone here, we're going to follow the same protocol we have in the past. We do have hours on top of the 2 superintendents' conference days, and we'll work with you to make sure that whoever is affected, it's going to be different this summer versus next summer. Some teachers may not be affected at all, but you will have those hours as well.
We're very positive. We feel for good reason. We've done a lot of homework and really kind of set in motion this good plan that we're really behind. So we feel very good about that. We really appreciate your trust too. Thank you.
Any questions, comments from the board?
I just have one question, actually, not for you guys, but is Natalie still sitting over there? You can't escape me. When the bond's passed, but we haven't been spending on the phase 2, where is the actual, where do we pull down the capital from?
So we just had a drawdown in March of a short-term ban as a bond anticipation note. It
Okay.
was for 7.5 million. And we're expected to roll that into a bond, a long-term bond drawdown when it matures in 6 months is actually.
So we'll actually like go to the market then to get, like when we need to draw it
Yeah, we
down.
work with the fiscal advisors, and they help us through everything. I give them, update our financial information and any questions that an investor will need. So we have a short-term bond out
Okay.
right now, and that'll roll into long-term issuances. Right now, we'll just have approximately $117,000 in interest due in the next budget cycle.
Yeah. I'd like maybe offline, maybe learn a little bit more
Sure.
about that process.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's it, sorry.
Thank you.
We're all set? Okay.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Okay. Did anyone have any committee reports to speak about? I don't believe so. No? Okay. Well, we move on, we have the 2 policies for review. We have policy 2245, ex officio student member of the board in its second reading. And we have policy 8113, extreme heat condition days on its second reading. Did anyone have anything further to discuss on those 2?
Just want to reiterate, this is the second reading based on our policy of policies. If no one objects to the current state of these policies, they'll be passed. And these 2 that we're looking at were mandated from the state. So we don't have anything to really pull from or to work off of. We're kind of following the example and the instructions that the state have put out as best as possible. We can always adjust these a little bit, I guess, but we don't really have much to work off of here. It's a state mandate.
Thank you, Dave. That's definitely useful information.
Do you have any questions on policy?
We all set? All right. If there's no questions on the policies, I'll make a motion. Motion to adopt policy 2245, ex officio student member of the board, and policy 8113, extreme heat conditions. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Diana. Do I have a second? Thank you, Katie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So there is one addendum. So resolution to approve release and settlement agreement. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the terms of the release and settlement agreement involving student number 2303164, a copy of which shall be incorporated by reference in the minutes of this meeting, and therefore be it further resolved that the superintendent of schools be and hereby is authorized to execute such release and settlement agreement on behalf of the district. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education of the South Orangetown Central School District authorizes an appropriation of the liability reserve fund to increase the 2024-2025 budget in order to fund the proceeds in the amount of $194,793.93 for the release and settlement agreement as follows. Liability reserve fund, AC A 862.1, $194,793.93. Appropriations, AC A 960, $194,793.93. Contractual expense other, A 1420.400-10-0000, $194,793.93.
I just
So,
wanted
Mr. Finn, yeah, Ms. Espinal just has one clarification. One of those numbers was off.
Sure.
Go ahead.
the last account that you noted there, that's noted on the resolution, should be, it's an error, it should be A1930.4
A
instead of A,
1930.4?
yes.
Okay, so I will reread that last line.
Thank you.
Contractual expense other is A1930.4, 6.4,
Yes.
and that's $194,793.93. Do I read this one too? You good? Okay. I don't read that.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, and there's also resolution authorizing an appeal of IHO decision. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby authorize the district's attorneys to initiate an appeal of the impartial hearing officer's decision involving impartial hearing reporting system case number 569-335. Once again, 569-335. All right. Does anybody have anything to discuss on the addendum?
I have a question on consultants, it's the personnel part. I'm not sure, what is this HMB consultant?
Good evening, Board Trustees. Mr. Sansone, HMB is a consultant firm that supports our business office in finding efficiencies in our food services program. They've been in South Orangetown for the last several years, I think 3 to 5 years, supporting our office.
Wait, so they have been here, or were?
They have been here, and we're recommending to reappoint them for another year. That's correct.
I didn't know what it was. I went to the consultant list that we had. I didn't recognize it. But if you say it's been here.
Yeah, at least since my,
Here,
oh,
but they're
sorry,
paid
no.
out of, I'm sorry, John. They're paid out of the C fund, which is the food service fund.
Okay.
And then the list entailed contractors out of the A fund. Yeah.
What does this do? It eliminates food waste, efficiency of the lines?
They review that the contractor is following the regulations and their contract, and we'll be working closer to see what other initiatives we can, they can support us in for food services. Thank you.
Could somebody summarize the resolution to approve the budget transfer, the last part of the consent agenda? I'm gonna jump from one end to the other. Sure. I kind of have an idea, but it's a lot of numbers. I was wondering if somebody could summarize that.
Which budget transfer are you referring to?
10-I.
Ms. Espinal can speak to that as well. Thanks, Natalie.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yes. So that's a budget transfer to increase the transportation budget for a specific vendor. So our codes are separated per vendor. We projected out what the expenditures would be through June, and it results that they'll be increased from what was originally budgeted for them, because we had another vendor that didn't have the capacity to keep the routes that they had in the prior year. And also with new placements, when students have mandated transportation, we've had to, that contractor had to cover that service for us, a student bus.
All right, so it's a substantial amount.
It
So
is.
we're increasing buses, increasing routes,
And
fuel
new
costs, et cetera.
additional service for new
Services.
placements usually.
But
in
it's
the
because one
special-
vendor couldn't provide it that the
Yeah.
other vendor did,
Okay.
yeah.
Right. Right, so the first portion is coming from a transportation code. You see that?
Thank you.
And Natalie, I have one other question. On the liability one, does the public know how much we have in the liability reserve fund?
So that was put out on does the public know?
Really?
So all of the restricted reserves I had in one of my presentations, and it's on the website. It's also in our financial statements that are issued they're posted on the website as well.
Okay. All right, so with that one addendum, I wanted to make the motion to make the change to the agenda, to add the addendum.
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And then motion to approve amended consent agenda categories 8 through 11.
Motion.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there any new business before we go tonight? No? All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight.
Thanks, everyone, for being here.
Motion to adjourn the meeting,
Appreciate it.
8:55. Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.